Greetings, dear suckers. My name's Joe Bob, and I'm very peeved. And welcome back to Scarlet Hollow. Last time, we made Tabitha cry. It was great. Anyway, we've still got quite a lot of other stuff to look into with the whole conversation. There was a lot of paths through this that I kinda accidentally skipped through by zeroing in on the most important things. Anyway. I talked to Oscar this morning. He dug up the stone carving in the library and has apparently been talking to it. Tell her about your encounter with Oscar. You fill Tabitha in on your conversation with Oscar in the basement this morning, as well as your previous encounters with the stone carvings in the clinic and mines, and the visions they've conveyed to you. So the librarian went insane, and you're taking his ravings at face value. Absolutely not. No. I'm just presenting you with what he said. More importantly, you're suggesting that there are more of these things, and, I assume, implying that we should go looking for them. Not really, no. I'm saying they may very well go looking for us. Do you want more seizures? You want brain damage? Maybe. What if the next one gives you an aneurysm? You don't know. And that's ignoring the fact that there's always some insane nonsense going on around them. And yet we keep getting dragged into that insane nonsense. Something to be concerned about. That's also bad. There is a nervous waver in her voice, a darting of her eyes. She's hoping you won't pursue this line of thought. Maybe it is for your sake, like she says. Maybe not. Quite. I found drawings in Enoch's desk. He had something to do with them, and there are definitely more. You take out the drawings. Tabitha glances quickly down at them, just enough to acknowledge they've been placed there. But her eyes don't linger. They want to be anywhere else. We don't know that. I have no reason to suspect these other ones ever got made. And I don't know that Enoch made these drawings. You accusing me of being a liar? Do you think I drew them? How dare you? It could just be something you found online for all I know. Or you could have drawn them based on something else. I don't know. It's not like he's around to explain himself. Trying to distract me from the fact that you're obviously still trying to go after the damn things, even though they could kill you for all you know. She is no longer able to hide her panic. You're close to something she doesn't want you to see. Evidently. I don't think I have much choice. They're starting to have some kind of effect on me. They pull me in. I can't help it. Tabitha is silent for a few seconds, slowly formulating some response. Don't let them. You don't have to let them. Yeah, Tabby, I'm afraid I do. 'Cause that's the plot of the game. I mean, not that I even think there are any more. Whatever. I'd rather not think about them, okay? An interesting response. There was this cell, Tabitha, in the Forbidden Wing. Your cousin visibly bristles, though she doesn't say a word. And we don't have artwork for her visibly bristling. But it's clear to you she knows about the cell. Don't try and lie to me, Tabitha. I can tell you know the room I'm talking about. Okay, yes, I do. See? I'm admitting it. Oh yeah, that kind of phrasing always comes before a cavalcade of bullshit. But imagine you found some dungeon in the ancient ruins of a castle and decided to go to whoever the current caretaker might be, like it's their problem. You're coming to me to argue about something that might as well be a museum piece. You're a museum piece! Thought you understood that people who are dead and buried have no right to ask for atonement from the living. What, just because our relatives have done evil things, those sins fall on us? Hey, I've not been insinuating anything of the sort. I just brought it up in conversation. You're the one inventing all these implications. Bullshit. And you know it's bullshit, so don't drag that attitude in here. Let the past die. Well, that certainly wasn't productive. It was hidden away. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's been used recently. You shouldn't have gone in there. Clearly it's made you upset. And you could have fallen and broken your neck or something. Why didn't you just listen to me? Excuse you? I didn't exactly... Excuse you? I didn't exactly have much choice in the matter. Remember being dragged in there? Also, the doorknob was there, and I kinda needed that because apparently I'm incapable of breaking down a door. Or otherwise, opening it. Without a knob, even though I've done that in real life, and I'm not... Anyway. At least this might scare you off from going in again. It's nothing worth finding, just a bunch of cobwebs and bad memories. And whatever this room is that freaked you out was probably just storage. She's nervous, trying to avoid eye contact, and trying to avoid a direct lie. She knows you'd see it. Quite. Unfortunately for her, I also see her trying to avoid the thing that she's trying to avoid me seeing. So, But I guess that's the end of that conversation. I feel like there's some follow-up questions I could ask there, but okay. Did I already talk about Enoch? No, I don't think so. Enoch, huh? It's not always worth digging up the uglier parts of the past, Joe Bob. Usually they're buried for a reason. He died the same day as Alexandra. Yeah, I guess he did. Woods accident or something, if I remember correctly. Those happen out here in the hills, even to Scarlets. Am I trying to collect family facts? What, do you want to know when Edwardine died too? 'Cause I honestly don't remember. And they never found Alexandra's body. That doesn't bother you? No, I don't think I've... Yeah, that's the same as the other route, I think. his interest in the occult. You explain, as best you can, the arcane nature of everything you found in Enoch's study. Tabitha lets you trail off, almost like she's waiting for the point of your ramblings, but is seemingly, ultimately, unimpressed. I take it you really don't know much about what rich guys were into when great-great-grandpa Enoch was in his prime. Which is kind of surprising. I thought fun facts were kind of your thing. There was the whole spiritualism movement, then that crazy guy, Crowley, with the magic. Rich people love that guy. Not that they necessarily say it publicly, especially not in a God-fearing community like this one. But I guarantee a bunch of old money families have their own versions of Enoch's collection from when this stuff was in vogue. And do you know why I know all this? Because Grandma Eddie told me. Everyone in the family knows Enoch was into some weird stuff. None of us care. Even though there's some weird stuff going on right now. I say that as if I don't already know that this is all a smoke screen and all that from what happened last episode, but you know. It does make it kind of awkward, honestly, going back to all this prevarication and such when we already had the big thingamajig. Oh well. Whatever he's got in there is just old junk. Your old junk. Are you sure none of it works? Are you sure he didn't stumble on something real? If he did, so what? He's still dead. So what? If you and Stella want to give him a call on a Ouija board or something, and you can interrogate him all you want about his weird crystals or severed monkey hands, or whatever. They'll do you more good than asking me. It wasn't just that. There was a creepy room with symbols painted on the floor. So we did some painting and none of us ever bothered to scrub it off. So what? Once I get the place fixed up, I'll be sure to have it painted over if it bothers you so much. There. Does that make you happy? That struck a nerve. She panicked for a second there. Quite. How can you be so sure, with everything going on in town? Don't you think all this could be connected? Tabitha lets out a heavy, exasperated sigh. What would it even change if that was the case? He's still dead. Feel free to get in touch with him via Ouija board if you really want to know. But I just don't care enough to devote much thought to it, honestly. Why are you covering for him? Why bother? Just tell me what you know. I'm not covering for him. It's just not worth talking about. If you and Stella want to give him a call on a Ouija board or something, be my guest. Let him defend whatever weird crystals or severed monkey hands he decided to waste his fortune on. The vials in his desk. You do your best to recount what you found in the vials hidden in Enoch's desk. Tabitha nods along, disinterested, or at least pretending to be. You already noticed he was into the occult, and now you're surprised that there were weird little occulty things in his study? Say you found a bunch of old vials, which had been preserving old letters of his for whatever reason, and you didn't really understand what they were saying because it was half of a conversation from about 100 years ago, and also you didn't actually read them, they just spoke to you. Yeah, that about sums it up. Okay. She was trying not to listen. An easy way to avoid the things that bother her. She knows she would be bothered and would have to lie, and you might catch it. Quite. Unfortunately for you, I'm catching all of this. Because I am that. Because I am him. His relationship with Teddy. I found a photograph of Teddy in his drawer. Do you think he loved his brother? Probably. It doesn't seem like the most important thing we could be talking about right now, Joe Bob. Fair, but it was an option. I don't think Teddy died in the collapse. Okay. Well, he's definitely dead now. Hopefully. We have secrets in our family. Of course we do. Every family does. Back then, people weren't quite as nice about, what's the word these days? Disabled? As they are now. I believe the current politically correct phrase is differently abled. Or something along those lines. They got hidden away. That's not news. And it's not unique to Scarlet's. No. But this specific method of hiding it away is. But I guess we're done with that conversation. The map. You show Tabitha the map, pointing at the locations of the stones you've already found, as well as the one you haven't, out in the middle of nowhere. You don't really want to go looking for any more of those things, do you? I mean, what would be the point, besides finding out what horrible situation might be unfolding around it? Well, that's one point, anyway. Considering horrible situations have a way of sneaking up on us in this town. Not that we even know those things are connected to all the stuff going on around here. Could just be something in the air. What does that even mean? And this is that old farmer's land, and Stella says he'll shoot anything that crosses his property line. I'd steer clear if I was you. Well then, I guess we just need to bring that gun along with us, and shoot first. She's grasping at straws, making excuses. Yeah, what else is new? The carvings. You show her the drawings you found in the desk, the stones you've unfortunately both already seen, as well as those you haven't. Hand-drawn plans. The notes on their creation, having obviously been made by her relative. Man, everyone's getting to see the full breadth of these drawings except me. So there are possibly more. Is that what you're trying to say? This is only a problem if we make it a problem. So how about we don't? I'd rather forget we saw any of the damn things. Remember how they give you seizures? I doubt you want any more of those. So whatever you do, please, don't go looking around to see if you can find these other ones, okay? They might give you brain damage for all you know. There is panic in her voice. Notably, she is ignoring the fact that the drawings themselves suggest Enoch may have had some hand in their creation, or at least their discovery. Did I really need to be book smart to notice? Whatever. Moving on, apparently. I talked to Wayne after seeing everything. Yeah. A reasonable reaction. And I hope you knew not to believe a word he said. I mean, the man is all like that. And he's stalking you. Yeah, don't worry, Tabby girl. I put everything he says under the highest of suspicion. Well, second highest. Civil is still higher, but close enough. Do you think he has good advice? No, but it's interesting to know what he wants me to believe. What is he really? It's obvious he isn't human, Tabitha. Well, not just human, anyway. He's human. It's not helpful to see him as anything but that. Humans are flawed. They want things, and they'll manipulate people to get those things. They'll say anything it takes. Feel like I've stepped on the landmine here. But I guess we're not gonna prod that little tangent at all. Okay. He wants me to find a witch. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Sybil. He tried to get you to go to her, huh? But then you came here. That's good. That's what you should do. Come to me, not embark on some quest from your stalker. Not that he even knows what he's talking about. A witch? I mean, what is this? A fairy tale? Witches aren't... they're not real. Sybil is just some weird lady. We're not gonna say anything about the incredibly shady shit going on with regards to Sybil? Okay. Moving on, I guess. I want to talk about The Boy in the Wall. The Boy in the... What, is that a movie or something? I think Andrew Charles Scarlet wasn't a stillbirth. I think Edwardine hid him away, and he's this boy in the walls Alexandra used to talk to. Mayhap. Do you have any idea how crazy you sound right now? What boy in the walls? Where did you see this? Why are you acting like this is shared information? Okay, let me try to make sense of this. You're saying that some dead kid was hidden in the walls of the estate, and our also dead great aunt Alexandra was talking to him through the walls. Joe Bob, I'm afraid I do not care. All those people are dead and gone. What does it matter if great aunt Alexandra was hearing voices? And even if there was a boy, what does it matter? He's dead at this point too. And anyone responsible for putting him there is dead. You're getting worked up about ghosts. We've dealt with enough of those this week, don't you think? That was a deflection. You know one when you see one. No shit. Anyway, Alexandra Scarlet mentioned him in a practice writing book. Multiple times. She talked about swapping places with him. A practice writing book? Oh, I see. Well, that's irrefutable evidence, I guess. A few sentences a bored kid wrote in some workbook from over half a century ago. Yeah, that's even more brazenly a deflection. Be real, Joe Bob. Even if there was some squatter living in the walls back then, he's probably dead now. And after what we went through this week, I thought we were both done worrying over ghosts. Yeah. You know a deflection when you see one. But she's right. That's not much evidence on its own. I don't see why I can't do both of these, but okay. Alexandra Scarlet mentioned him in her drawings, and in her practice writing books. I think the young boy's clothes in Edwardine's closet belong to him. Young boy's clothes. You probably found doll clothes, Joe Bob. An old children's art? Are we taking that as the word of God now? I bet you anything Great Aunt Alexandra was just bored. It's not like kids had much to do back then. You're jumping at shadows, and you're not going to get me to jump with you. Oh, do you not know about the boy in the wall, Tabitha? I thought we all knew about him. I thought this was supposed to be a serious conversation. I don't know how much more of your comedic stylings I'll be able to stomach today, so watch it. You know I have a I have a mind to manage, right? How much more of my time do you plan to waste playing Nancy Drew? All of it. Well, let's go with this, sure. What are you going to do with that goat in the greenhouse? God, you're nosy. You know it. And love me for it. So what? I'm not allowed to have a pet? What makes you think I'm going to do anything with it? Several things. We'll see how many I can actually say. The only thing I have planned for the goat is getting it to finally clear out that damn garden. A goat is a lot cheaper than a landscaper. It's on a special diet for the time being. Vet's orders. So don't go giving it anything weird, okay? I don't want it dying on me. I have to use for satanic rituals. Not just satanic rituals. Haven't you ever heard of a scapegoat? That was a vet's orders. You mean Sybil's orders? Jesus. Nothing gets past you, huh? You know it, and love me for it. The nearest vet is too far out of town for me to travel there with a goat, let alone a goat with a nervous tummy. Sybil knows all that weird mountain folk medicine. She's the next best thing. The next best thing besides, oh, I don't know, the actual doctor? You know I have a mind to manage, right? How much more of my time do you plan to waste playing Nancy Drew? I think that's all the things that I didn't look into last time. Let's see. I want to talk about Alexandra Scarlet. Did I talk about this before? I forget. Tabitha glances away. She's already putting up her guard before you so much as asked a question. There's not going to be much to say. Grandma Eddie never talked much about her. Painful memories, I guess. She disappeared. They never found her body. Do you think she might not have died back then? How old was she? 5? 6? Like a 6-year-old girl ran off on her own in the mountains and lived. But sure. Yeah, let's say she ran away to join the circus. Why not? If she's still alive, she'd be in her 70s. And she's never come back. Even if she wasn't dead, the person she was when she ran off died that day. And so did her connection to the Scarlets. She would just be some old lady. Perhaps. But she isn't. Because she died. You don't want to talk about her? Fine. It's not that I don't, there's just nothing to be said. She only existed for like 5 years. No. You know what? I'm done. Stop talking around whatever it is you really think. If you think I'm a bad person, say it. If you hate me now, say it. If you wish that you'd never come here, say it. Ah, I see. Wait. Hang on. Let me check something. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I see. This is the alternate path if you explore too many options without stumbling upon, well, exactly what I stumbled upon. Okay. I think I've more or less exhausted that conversation then, outside of this path, which, meh. Okay, now let's see what happens if we try to trust someone else. Kanika's not here for obvious reasons. Let's see, show me Stella. You can trust Stella. She's gorgeous. Yeah. Alright, let's go. I am recording, right? Yeah, okay. You make your way over to Stella's house, desperately praying that she'll be home. She's been in this with you practically since the moment you arrived in town. She'll know what to do. She has to know what to do. You knock on her door. Must she? Barely a moment passes before you're met by the enthusiastic barks of a geriatric pug. Stella, we have a guest. Good heavens, pull yourself together, girl. You wait, and eventually the door creaks open, an exhausted Stella regarding you with sunken eyes. Oh. Hey, Joe Bob. What happened? You look shaken up. I don't get that. The game keeps insisting that I should be shaken up by... The game keeps insisting that I'm shaken up by what happened, but... Fucking what happened? Okay, I discovered some shady shit going on with my family. Yeah, what else is new? I don't know. It just doesn't feel... It just feels disjointed to insist that I must be shaken up by what happened. Not even have the option to be shaken up, but insisting in every route, no matter what I do, that I am definitely very, very shaken by all that happened. Even though... it just feels like a massive disconnect there. It doesn't feel like it did nearly enough to justify such a totalizing reaction. But alright. Wayne kidnapped me in my sleep and dragged me into the Forbidden Wing. Was one of the options I think I'm gonna die? What? Why? That would come out of nowhere. Holy shit. I always wanted to know what was in there. Thank you for your sympathy, Stella. Though, it doesn't seem like it was good. Quite. Come in. I'm guessing you have a lot to talk about. She reaches forward and grabs your hand, ushering you into her home. So, What happened? Tell her everything. I don't have a choice here. I could hide shit from... Once you start talking, you find it hard to stop. No details remain unshared. You tell Stella about everything that's happened today. Waking up in the Forbidden Wing, the cell, and everything you found leading up to it. And your parley with Wayne at the end of it all. Not to mention your conversation with Oscar in the bowels of the library. Back to basics. Turn to a YouTuber in your hour of need. Ha. She's no how to basic, though. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. That's... Joe Bob, if I'm being honest, I don't know what to do about any of this. I was gone for a day, and it's like every single part of my life has been turned on its head. Well, that's life. Okay. Okay. Everything is... okay. Everything is, indeed. Otherwise, it wouldn't be part of everything. You can still trust Tabby, and I still trust Tabby, which means we need to talk to her. You said you found letters from her dad in there. Fair enough. Remain silent. Sure. You say nothing, waiting for Stella to offer up some sort of plan. I don't like the thought of marching up to the mines. Does that have anything to do with you being banned from the mines? No, probably not. Knowing you. I'm going to call her, and I'm going to make her come here. I'm a good host, and if we bring her here, I'm sure I'll be able to wind the clock right back to where we all left things last night. Stella pulls out her phone and dials your cousin. You can tell by the way she bounces her foot that this is a call that circumstances have forced her to commit to, not one that she's chosen to make. What's the difference? Tabby, hi! Just barely, you're able to make out the other end of the conversation. Keen ear too, apparently. Stella, you know I have a lot on my plate. Is something wrong? Yeah, no, everything's okay. Then why are you calling? I'm at work. Joe Bob just stopped in and, told me about some things. Actually, maybe everything isn't okay. Stella, can you get to the point? It's the first day everyone's back to work, so I've got to run a tight ship today if I don't want another rebellion. Wayne dragged him into the Forbidden Wing this morning. Literally. Well, actually, I think he might have carried me. I don't know, actually. What did he say, Stella? It was a lot. It's this whole thing with a lot of details. And do you believe what you've been told? Stella looks back at you, concerned. Quite. I don't know. That's why I think you should come here, to my place. I know you're busy, but I think it's worth it. Joe Bob seems really shaken up. You know we both care about you, Tabby. So let's talk. Then we can all be on the same page. You know leaving my post right now, after everything I had to pull to get these people back to work, does not exactly reflect well on me, yes? Tabby, this isn't like a negotiation. You're coming down here, and you're doing it right now. Shit. Okay. Great. See you soon. Stella hangs up the phone. She seems tense. I guess she always does, but she kind of seemed more tense than I expected. What did you mean when you said you don't know if you believe me? I could hear the other end of the call, Stella. Joe Bob, I'm sorry. I had to say something. And if I told her I believed everything, maybe she wouldn't have come. If she's up to something scary, she has to feel like she has a way out of it with us. There's so many possibilities we're not even considering right now. There always are. Maybe she doesn't know about what's in the Forbidden Wing. Maybe she knows, but it's all ancient history. All things that died with Enoch or Edwardine or Pearl Ann even. And maybe if she's caught up in something bad, maybe she's looking for a way out. Does she strike you as someone who's looking for a way out? Maybe she needs our help. Now that I can believe. Were you really expecting that call to go any different? Yeah. I was expecting her to be a little more receptive. Do you know her at all? Or maybe she's just bad on the phone. I haven't talked on the phone in years. For all I know, I just accidentally dialed up Business Tabitha's number instead of Stella's closest and possibly best friend, Tabitha. You're grasping at straws, Stella. Do we just wait, or... Yep. We just wait for her to get here. I'd say we could plan, but I've never really been a planner. This is known. You know me by now. Sadly, yes. I'm impulsive. That's one word for it. I do what feels right in the moment. Like calling Tabby to come here without asking you. Quite. No. It was the right thing to do. If we sit around agonizing about what to do, we won't fix anything. We'll all just keep feeling bad. That's a false dichotomy. You and Stella wait in silence for your cousin to arrive. But eventually, there's the sound of tires on gravel, and a car door opens. Footsteps up to Stella's door. And at last, a knock. Multiple footsteps. She isn't alone. You swallow a lump in your throat, and before you can say anything... Who might she be with? It's open, Tabby. Hi! It swings open, and Tabitha Scarlet steps through the door, followed, surprisingly, by Deputy Franklin, his sunglasses emotionlessly reflecting the light of day. Hi! Wasn't expecting you here in this branch. Is that the mayor's goon, moonlighting for Tabitha? It figures that Jimmy would only employ mercenaries and ruffians. He's a police officer, Gretchen. Tabby, you brought the cops? Yeah, Stella. I brought a cop. That was a very upsetting phone call to receive, you know. I was hoping the three of us could talk. Well, we're here, talking. If you have something to say, say it. But I know an ambush when I see one, Stella. The sort of things you were saying on the phone, I didn't know what to expect. Oh, I think you know exactly what to expect. So I brought backup. But Joe Bob, I'll have you in particular remember that Stella practically admitted that you broke into a locked wing of my house. So if you want to walk out of here not in handcuffs, I'd better like what I hear. Oh, this is gonna be productive. How about, instead, you literally fuck your own face? If you're lucky, maybe I won't press charges. What? For me being kidnapped by your boyfriend in a way that you can't actually prove I was even there? This is all hearsay. I didn't break in anywhere. Stella said you did on the phone. I certainly didn't break in anywhere on the phone. Ma'am, your cousin has a point. I wasn't party to that phone call. I'm sure if you, I don't know, took fingerprints in there, did police type things, you'd find plenty of evidence. Do you really want the police poking around up there? I'd be happy to let them poke around all they want, but I'm not certain you'd want that. That's certainly a possibility, ma'am. You'd have to go in the Forbidden Wing, Tabby. Are you okay with that? Are you asking if he'll find evidence that I've done something terrible, Stella? He won't find a thing. He won't find a thing. That's not you saying that there isn't any. Words chosen with practiced precision. Indeed. People who think they're very, very clever love to play games with words like that, even though it's actually a lot more obvious than a flat-out lie. Isn't that funny? Well, I certainly won't complain about her telling on herself like that. How are we supposed to have a dialogue about what we found when you've brought a literal goon here? That's a bit rude. Tabitha, I thought we were getting close. All of us. I wanted to talk this out with you, not attack you. Maybe a little attacking. But all of this is just weak shit. Let's go for the jugular. Did you know that there were birthday cards from your dad in the Forbidden Wing? Years and years of them. Give her the cards. What? Yeah. Weren't expecting that, were ya? This may be more rocky circumstances, but it does make it that little bit more satisfying to turn the tables on her like that. Tabitha looks over a handful of the cards you found stuffed in Edwardine's desk. See, Tabby? Whatever Joe Bob found in there must not have anything to do with you, because you would have known about these. So we can all calm down, right? These were stashed somewhere? Joe Bob said so. In your grandma's room or something. Tabitha stares down at the cards, eyes caught by the handwritten messages, written over the course of years. Then she crumples them up and shoves them in her pocket. Her sour expression returns, squinting to hide the tears you couldn't help but notice. Stella's right. That proves it then. I didn't know about these, so why would I know about all the other stuff you're talking about? Well, if you didn't, then where does that leave us? Where do we go from here? There's shady shit going on up in your house, presumably connected to the previous Scarlets. What do we do about it? I never said we were here to convict you of anything. Are you crying? Tabby, I'm sorry. I know you and your dad have a bad relationship. More like no relationship, actually. We don't have a relationship to begin with. Exactly. He decided not to have one, so he sent me cards. So what? Anyone can do that, even a deadbeat like him. He had my address. He could have come to visit. But no. He just sent stupid cards with ugly pictures on them and wrote about somebody he never bothered to get to know. I'm fine. This isn't about that. It's about me and Joe Bob. Yet another family member who seems intent on betraying my trust. Hey, I've been just dragged into this. Quit You're so keen on not being accused of shit that you're just going full bore on accusing me of shit. You're just assuming a lot of shit, honestly. And you know what happens when you're assuming? You make an ass out of you and Ming. I don't know who the fuck Ming is, but you're making an ass out of him, Tabitha. Tabby, I had no idea you... The conversation is interrupted by the crackle of Deputy Franklin's radio. Rude? Franklin, pick up already. We ain't get all day, boy. Sheriff, sorry, sir. I'm just seeing to a situation with Miss Scarlet. She called me about a possible situation at Stella Richmond's. I don't give a shit about where you are, aside from the fact that it ain't here. We need all hands on deck over at the Calloway place. Got ourselves a possible 187 brewing. Get your ass down here, boy. Yes, I know what they're talking about. 10-4. A 187? The Calloway place? Damn it. This day just keeps getting worse. Yeah, you know it. That's a murder. No shit. Miss Richmond, I'm starting to get sick of telling you to stop listening in on the police radio. She didn't really have a choice. What, was she supposed to block her ears? But more importantly, this needs to wrap up now. Deputy Franklin whips out a pair of handcuffs, tightening them quickly around your wrists in a smooth police academy maneuver. Ma'am, if you want to press charges... I don't know what I'm doing yet. Don't force me to make a decision. I'm still... processing. Tabby... But, Joe Bob... Alrighty. I'll take your cousin in, and you can decide what to do after the situation at the farms has been resolved. Tabby, you can't just let this happen. Your cousin hasn't done anything. Damn it. Damn it. Okay, fine. Stella, stay here. I'll make sure nothing happens to Joe Bob while in police custody. That is not advisable, Miss Scarlet. We're talking about an active crime scene. I don't give a shit. Stella, if you don't hear from us by the end of the day, you bring people and you come looking, okay? Okay. So that's this path to the farm then, with Franklin and Tabitha, but worse than either of their routes, to be honest. Okay. Well, thanks a billion, Stella. You got me arrested. So much for doing what feels right. Okay, but what would happen if I, How about we all just go back to the estate right now, and I can show you everything I found? That would require either a warrant or Miss Scarlet's permission. That's easy, right, Tabitha? Right, Tabby? Because it's not like you have anything to hide. We can clear all this up in an hour. That's right, Tabitha. If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. Christ, Stella. I know you paste your face all over the internet for just anyone to see, but I actually have respect for my privacy. I'd rather not have anyone rifling through my things, whether or not they're a professional. And even if that weren't the case, I have work to do. I can't draw out this conversation all afternoon. God knows I'm not letting any of you in there without my supervision. I don't need Joe Bob spinning tales while I'm not there to offer the obvious rational explanations for things like hidden corridors. If they're obvious rational explanations, surely, well, they'd be obvious. I think you mean the easy rationalizations, Tabby girl. Well, maybe Joe Bob doesn't have to be there, or... Stella, it's not happening. And you were talking such a big game earlier. What's the matter? And yeah, that. Let's see. It's the same. Okay. What happens if I just remain silent? I have that right. You say nothing. Nothing else to say, huh? And yeah. Okay. That's that route then. Okay. I was kind of hoping Stella would come along, to be honest. That would make that route potentially worth doing, having the whole gang along. Well, kind of the whole gang along. Okay. Stella's a bust. Because she sucks. This is known. How about, Avery? Sure. You arrive at the diner, breathless and panicked. You pause in the lot outside, doing your best to gather your thoughts. Trying to make yourself presentable before being seen in a place as public as Winnie's. But before you can enter, a voice calls out to you from around the corner. Looking for Avery? They're up at Julius's. Left me high and dry dealing with some very irritable miners. Sounds like the strike's off, and a bunch of folks got fired over it. Sucks to suck. But you didn't hear from me. I thought giving a job to my sister's kid would make running the diner easier, but this is the second shift in a row I'm understaffed. Well, let this be a lesson to you. Nepotism never pays. But I guess it's good they're finally making friends in town. Why is Avery at Julius's place? Hell if I know. Didn't ask. Not an inquisitive sort, eh? I'd rather this wasn't the case, I'll tell you that much. Can't say I approve of Avery getting calls from a crusty old man like Mr. Tremaine. Oh, that's who Julius is, right. The bozo that that other bozo hates. And may have stolen his giant pumpkin. But I don't stick my nose where it don't belong. My condolences. It's a lot of fun. And it might save your life someday. You gotta help me. There's a dungeon up in the Scarlet estate. Explain everything. Sure, let's just info dump this random stranger. Might as well try. You begin to regale the diner owner with the harrowing events of the morning. But Winnie stops you almost immediately. Yeah, figured. That sounds like it ain't my business. Yeah, that's exactly what I expected out of her. Now, if Avery decides it's theirs, that's entirely up to them. But I'm old enough to have learned my fair share of lessons. No such thing. First and foremost of which is that when someone tells me a rich white woman has a dungeon in her house, I didn't hear a word of it. Funny. I've kept this diner running for 30 years, and a lot of that comes down to knowing when to pick a fight and when to stay in my lane. And let me tell you, the answer is always to stay in my lane. That sure sounds a lot like cowardice, but sure. Best of luck with your troubles, and you better not let so much as a stray feather land on Avery, or I'll be coming for you. Missed connection. Chat with Winnie in episode 5. Winnie returns to the diner, leaving you to ponder your next step. But where could you possibly turn to next? Reese. Dr. Kelly? Why not? You arrive at the old clinic, hoping that you'll find safety under the watchful eye of Dr. Kelly. You pound on the door for a few seconds. Joe Bob? What's going on? Is he here? She glances past you, out over the other houses, scanning the tree line. Surprisingly, no, this is not about Reese. When she sees nothing, her eyes return to you, confusion and annoyance twisting their way onto her face. What's got you all worked up? Wait, don't tell me out here. Get inside. The doctor ushers you in. All signs of what happened yesterday seem to have vanished. There are no streaks of paint on the walls, and the sunlight casts no harsh shadows, softening the memories of what happened here. It's an interesting painting. Are those all Reese's paintings? Joe Bob, be honest. Has he done something? This isn't about Reese. You know as much as I do about his situation. Dr. Kelly heaves a visible sigh of relief, some of her tension seeming to fade. Okay, good. That's good. Tell me what's going on then. I just need to get out of this town. Please get me out of this town. It's worth a shot. I can't be the one to take you. I still have responsibilities here, you know? Plus, he's out there somewhere. No one else knows him the way I do. I'd better be here if something happens. Can't you? I don't need you to take me far. Just past the point where the fucking bozos can mob me. So no, I'm not hopping in a car and driving you God knows where. Especially if you aren't even gonna tell me what's got you so panicked. Then I'll go to someone else. I can't stay here. Hey, calm down. You shouldn't just run around town like this. And I especially wouldn't want you getting any ideas about trying to get out on foot. Whatever is going on in Scarlet Hollow, we can figure it out. But you have to talk to me first. Keeping it to yourself just means you'll be alone if everything goes to shit. I think we've both learned that much. Quite. Okay, that's a bust. To my lack of surprise, don't hold back. Tell her everything. You explain what you've just uncovered in the estate. Your family secrets, the possibility of other stones, the cell. Walk-in clinic, turn to the doctor in your hour of need. When you've finished, Dr. Kelly is silent for a few long seconds, taking in everything you've said. Come here. She wraps you in her arms, pressing you to her chest. There is surprising strength in her embrace. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Her hair holds the floral cleanliness of a generic shampoo. Evidence of her humanity lurking under the flat sterility that seems to pervade the clinic. Is it? I'll take your word for it. Then she's pulling away, holding you firmly by the shoulders, looking you in the eye. It'll be okay. You did the right thing coming to me. Maybe. Who else can we trust? Are we alone in this? Aren't we always? I'm not sure. I don't like the thought of involving anyone else, not when things seem to be getting dangerous. That thing with Miles spooks me, but I think that means it's important. For all we know, there could be another one of those stones buried there. If the thing you found in my basement had anything to do with what happened to Reese, somebody needs to be concerned for the health and well-being of the people who live here. Unfortunately, I don't think the cops are willing to do that, and the only other authority in town is a dog. So we'll have to be the ones to go out there and take a look. I'll bring tranquilizers with me. Thank God. I feel like no one around here has been taking any of this seriously. You should give them some credit. It's hard not to rationalize when things get weird. I can't relate to that at all. And it's too easy to hope that the worst is behind us. I can't relate to that either. I know I've thought that more times than I can count. That relief every time I figured out some new way to deal with what was going on with Reese. It still ended the way it did. And it could still get worse. So I know there's no point pretending everything will resolve itself without some kind of intervention. I'll get my gun, then let's head out. Okay. That's that route to the farmstead then. Wayne mentioned a witch. Maybe we should try to find her. Wayne is that creep who showed up last night, right? An annoying beeping interrupts your conversation. Something is going off in Dr. Kelly's office. Oh hell, this is the sheriff's stupid pager. Interesting that it went off in this route and not in the other. Surely there would have been time for it. That's really weird, actually. The doctor hurries back into her office, and you hear her frantically rifle through papers and drawers before finally managing to silence the awful beep. I told him 1,000 times to update his damned emergency contact system. It's not like I don't have a phone he can call, but no, the pager is what he knows, so I'm stuck being the only person still using a damn beeping cube instead of... Oh shit. 187. That's a murder. Calloway up at Duke's place? A murder is unusual enough, but this week of all weeks. God, please don't let this be Reese. I'd better get out there. Joe Bob, you're coming with me. It could be some other weird bullshit. God knows there's been enough of it around town lately. But if not, you'd better be ready to pull whatever that was you pulled last night. And let's hope it works twice. I'd rather keep you in my sights until we figure out what's going on around here. Peculiar. Very peculiar. Maybe we should go talk to Tabitha. She should know what her family did. It's almost like it's responding to me. It's almost like it's responding to me trying to present different options. Like when I just went along with it without presenting different things we should do, nothing of the sort happened. Does she even have a beeper in that route? That's straight up evidence of shit being rearranged based on directly as a result of my actions, of trying to do anything other than what it wants me to do. That's straight up it showing its hand, right there. Holy shit. Well, this is a profitable diversion after all. How about talking to Tabitha? Let's see if that leads us. Let's see if that does the same. Joe Bob, do you think she didn't know? I just said she should know. So, It's possible, yes, but honestly I don't see much point in talking to her about it either way. Chances are she just gets defensive and calls the cops to get us to leave, whether or not she knows anything about what her family seems to have done. Mayhap. And yet, I know you care about your cousin. I know she saved both of our lives last night. But we need to focus on the most effective use of our time. Family can wait. The doctor sighs, thinking. Bad enough that you're in the middle of this. But it seems to me like you don't have much choice in that. So we'll just stick together and hope for the best. You said you found out where another one of those stones is, right? The thing you found in my basement had anything to do with what happened to Reese. Sounds to me like wherever there's a stone, there's trouble. Somebody needs to be concerned for the health and well-being of the people who live here. Unfortunately, I don't think the cops are willing to do that. And the only other authority in town is a dog. I mean, they kinda are, but... yeah, okay. I knew I came here for a reason. You're so competent. Okay. Something about that feels weird, but sure, let's see that. I'm confident, maybe more than I deserve to be. We have yet to see if I actually know what the hell I'm doing. Yeah, okay. That's pretty good evidence. Okay. That is the same, naturally. Can you hide me? Maybe I can wait out the week here and no one will know, and then I can just go home. Oh, come on. That's not the Joe Bob I saw yesterday, standing in the face of death and not giving a shit. Well, this is that's because this is non-canon Joe Bob, sorry. You know hiding from your problems isn't a solution. The doctor sighs, thinking. Bad enough that you're in the middle of this, but it seems to me like you don't have much choice in that, so we'll just stick together and hope for the best. Yeah. That's... okay. Wait a minute. Maybe we could just leave. This town sucks. I don't want to be here anymore. I can't be the one to take you. I still have responsibilities here, you know? Plus, he's out there somewhere. No one else knows him the way I do. I'd better be here if something happens. So no, I'm not hopping in a car and driving you God knows where. We're tackling this whole situation head on. Let me think. Yeah, okay. Let me, that, okay. That's interesting. Okay, I was wrong. It's not the other options that are causing things to be rearranged. It's specifically mentioning the witch. That's interesting. That's very interesting. It's possible that it's simply because it's the only path that I might actually be able to convince her to go ahead with, because I mean the other paths have relatively reasonable arguments against them, from not trusting Tabitha to not just call the police on us, to not being willing to just cut and run or hide away or what have you. But this is confronting the shit that's going on here. It's just not confronting it in the way that the witch would like us to. That's the key here. That's very interesting. I think that's about everything. And yep, to my complete lack of surprise, the Tabitha route is obviously the best. Specifically the actually successful one. Because how could I possibly pass up on the opportunity to make Tabitha cry? You know? Like, actually break down and cry, not the scant few tears of some of the other routes. Okay then. Well, I'd say this is goodbye, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be posting the next video at the same time as this one. Because this one doesn't really involve any actual progress, kind of reverse progress, really. So I'm gonna call it, what number was it? I'm gonna call this 33 and a half. So, see you then.